Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the 3 pros and cons of moving to Louisville, Kentucky. So I'm going to go over the pros first and then we'll hit the cons. But before I get started, if you could go ahead and hit that like button, maybe make a comment and hit subscribe, I would really be appreciative of that. And even if your comment is going to be negative, I can deal with it. I have thick skin. Okay, so we're going to get started now. All right, so to tell you the first pro about living in Louisville, Kentucky would be we do have 4 seasons: spring, summer, winter, fall. We have them all. And so we have a good, decent amount of time of each as well. Although winter, I feel like, is the shortest of the seasons. It doesn't seem to be, in my opinion, but maybe a month long. I'm from northern Wisconsin, so we have winter for 6 months, and that kind of sucks. But I don't miss that part of living in Wisconsin. I miss my family, but I don't miss that part. Here we have a nice fall. Right now the leaves are turning, and in about 2 weeks, I think we'll be peaking with all the leaves. And because we have such hilly terrain, as you're traveling on some of the highways, outside of Louisville, you'll see all of the different foliage and the colors, and it's just really breathtaking. I took a trip this past weekend to London, Kentucky, which is about 2.5 hours away. And all I kept saying was, can you imagine what this is going to look like in 2 weeks when all of the green is gone and it's just all the different colors. So spring is great. It's a really good buildup. The moment it starts to thaw out, you just start to you start to take your hoodies off, even though it's probably in the winter, or in the fall you would have been putting your sweater on, but you've acclimated. So yeah, we have all 4 seasons. You can enjoy them. We just about an hour north, you can go skiing in the winter to one of the ski hills. And we have a lot of waterways, a lot of lakes. We have the Ohio River, so there's jet skiing and boating and all that. There's plenty of homes on the river if the river is your jam. Some people love river life. I know a guy sold his house in a really nice rural area of the outer areas of Louisville, and he wanted to live on the river. Him and his wife, kids are gone, and they're like, we're boat people. We love river life. So we have not only do we have the amenities, but we have the weather so that you can enjoy those things. I hear from people that live in the deep South that it's so hot so much that they're inside all the time. So I feel like where we're located is really conducive to enjoy all of those seasons. So moving on to number 2, it would be that we are centrally located. So really, you can get to, I would say, 2/3 of the United States in 8 to 10 hours. A lot of people spring break, they say Destin, Florida becomes a mini Louisville. Everyone in Destin is from Louisville. Like, people literally run into each other from Louisville because it's just like straight shot. They're on the water, but yet, they didn't have to go into the into Central Florida and make the longer trip. They can do it in, a day's drive. We can get to St. Louis in about 4 hours, Kansas City in about 8, Green Bay in about 8. I've done it in less, but about 8 hours. Detroit about 7 hours. Going up the road, Indianapolis about an hour and a half. Cincinnati about an hour and a half, same thing. Nashville is just 3 hours south. So, we are so centrally located that, that's why UPS had its hub here originally, is that we have such a great central location, and we have some great interstates, so you can get places fast. And if you are driving, I understand, you may want to fly, which of course we have a great airport as well. But, those times you can't fly, or flying just doesn't work for you, or, when COVID hit, you couldn't fly or whatever. So being centrally located is really great for us because we are able to, jet out of town in a car and go enjoy the area. So, and then the third pro I would pick was we have a country life and we have city life. So depending on what person you are, I used to think of myself as country. And because I was from a town, northern Wisconsin, a little tiny town of 1,000 people called Crivets. And that's country. We would drive to Green Bay, and Green Bay was the big city for us, growing up. It took about an hour. Now with some, changes in the highways, and that is only 45 minutes. But But here, you can live in downtown Louisville in one of the high rises, looking out over the Ohio River. We got some spectacular views in those type of buildings. And then you could live on a farm in, the outskirts of Jefferson County, or even in one of the adjacent counties. Because the county have merged. So Louisville and Jefferson County merged back in 2006. So you can, so anyway, so just that one thing anymore, you don't have to pay like multiple taxes and things like that. But my point being is that when you get into the outskirts, you can be on a farm quickly. But yet, if you want to go to the ballet or see the Nutcracker for Christmas, you just come on into town. So you have the benefit of living either in a country lifestyle or a city lifestyle, and you can quickly convert that. If you are tired of seeing cows and horses, you come on into Louisville. I hear a lot of people like, yeah, I haven't been in the city for years, because their lifestyle is they like the country life, but it's always here. We do have some great medical facilities. Some of the first, I think the first hand transplant was done in Louisville. So it is a medical mecca, as I call it all the time. I don't know if that's the right word, but medical mecca. And so they'll come here for the medical treatments, their doctor's appointments and such, and then just go back to their country living out in the rural areas of Kentucky. And some people are pretty country, trust me, country. Do you hear me? So, all right. So I would like to ask you to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Come on, hit it for me. Hit it. Please hit it. And then hit the like button, and please make a comment, even if it's a mean comment, but try to be, somewhat gentle. All right. So I'm going to hit you with 3 cons now of moving to and living in Louisville, Kentucky. And the first one for me was the heat and humidity. Holy crap. Oh my God. Being from the north and being fat, I was like, didn't leave the house other than to go to work. Like work to the car to the, work to home. It was ridiculous. I had bought some rollerblades, I was much younger then, bought some rollerblades. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. First of all, my ankles were starting to get shot, but second of all, it was just too damn hot, so I returned those, and I never return anything, but I returned them because I just didn't see the value in it. And, but if you are not a heat person or humidity, then you might not want to be here in the summertime, because it is hot, and there's a lot of humidity. So, my hair frizzes up, as you can see. I used to have a lot more hair when I was younger, but it'll frizz up. It's not even worth straightening in the summer, I feel like. People talk about it's not the heat, the humidity. That's so true here. We used to say in Wisconsin, and I laugh now because I'm thinking, no, we don't even have a clue of what humidity is in northern Wisconsin compared to the Ohio Valley down here. So, yeah, if you're heat, humidity averse, not a good fit. But, it does afford us to have, some great weather year round. We do have that little cold spell like I talked about previously in the winter, but it's really something that you can work with. All right, the second con of living here would be the river. The river every so many years will flood. There'll be a heavy rain, the snow is melting. It's always in March, April, it seems like, and maybe February even, but there'll be some type of heavy rains, and then all of that is feeding into the river, right? And so they track it. It's so cool. I found these graphs online, and they track it, and you can see when it's going to crest, like the time of day. So being that I own a moving company, what we'll do is we will like time it. People are like, Margaret, okay, I'm gonna need you on Monday because it's gonna crest on Tuesday, so we'll time it so that we're getting the stuff right out just long enough for it to crest, go back down, and then we'll bring it back to them. Sometimes it's only a few days. Sometimes they just like hold on to it for the month. I don't feel like screwing with it right now, but if you're a person that wants to live, near the river, just know that there are times that it floods, and it creates some havoc, downtown. It might, because, a lot of the business district is right downtown, which is on the river as well. So there'll be streets that'll be closed off for a few weeks while, all that gets worked out. So we do have some flood walls and stuff, but it's kind of kind of crazy. When I first moved here, I had moved here in December, and then that February, I had gone out to dinner with someone from work, and I didn't know my way around. I'm very directionally challenged, and so when we had gone to Macaroni Grill. I will never forget it. It was on Hurstbourne Lane, and on the way back, all of these different roads were closed, and I didn't. I lived in Southern Indiana at the time, and no GPS, at the time, no MapQuest. That stuff wasn't even in play yet. So I'm trying to figure out how to get home because the way I knew was no longer valid, and I'm trying to find my way there. And so what I did was I saw a car that was a Indiana plate, and I just followed it, hoping to God that they were going to Indiana, and they were, thank goodness. So that's how I got home, because it had flooded so many different roads, getting here. So that would be my number two reason, to just be maybe the flooding and the traffic that can occur when that happens. And the number three reason that it would be a con for moving to Louisville. I'm going to wait for you to hit that like button. Come on, hit subscribe. You can do it for me. I'm bringing you this content. I am putting myself out there, makeup or not, hair in a ponytail, coming to you raw and unfiltered to help you understand what it would be like to live in Louisville. So go ahead, please make a comment below. Please hit subscribe and hit like. And so my number three reason that Louisville would be a con for Louisville, living in Louisville, would be the potholes. They're ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why, because when they think snow is coming, and they just have to think, it doesn't have to actually happen. But if they just think that snow is coming, oh my God, they will just dump salt. They brine, they say, but then it won't even happen. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, because I'm from Wisconsin and my dad worked for the highway department. So I kind of understand this process. And I'm thinking, you guys, it's not even here. So, but they go and brine because people cannot handle driving in snow here. Trust me. And so then they'll start salting if it's, maybe it's raining and they're worried about the salt and all that. So then they start dumping salt. And I'm telling you, there would be piles of salt, like at an intersection or something, there'll be piles of salt. And next thing you know, I'll tell you where it's really bad right now is there on my way to work. I have to go underneath the railroad bridge. And of course, when all that rain comes down there and all that stuff sits there, it is like, the wooden roller coasters where you're like this. That is what it's like going underneath this railroad bridge. So they don't fix them fast. They really, really don't fix them that fast. So that's my frustration. They literally just fixed one last week that I go by every day, and it was this deep. I mean, it was, what is that, 6-7 inches, whatever. It was ridiculous. And I even broke a motor mount earlier in the year in my Escalade. So I was pretty pissed. But they supposedly you can file a claim. I don't know about all that, but potholes, not crazy about them. They suck, take forever. And like, sometimes I feel like you could, lose if you were a small car. I'm not a small car person, but if you had a small car, you could get lost in this thing and stuck, So hopefully I've helped you with some things today. My name is Margaret Weathers, and this was probably one of my most favorite videos I've done to date. So please hit the like button, subscribe, make a comment, and until next time, take care of each other. Thanks. Bye.